I'm showing you how to make a clicker game using Circuits V2. So to use Circuits V2, open up your Make Pen, open up your palette, and go into Circuits V2, and you already have the preloaded non-beta Circuits V2 stuff, which is going to be used today. So for our clicker game, we're going to want a button version 2. You'll know it's a button V2 when it doesn't have the arrows here, but it instead has the circuit board right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into search chips, where you can just find it in your Circuits V2 palette. You click Circuits V2, and you go down to variables, and you click variable int, which is our integer value that we're going to need, and then go into chip settings, rename it to clicks so that you know, and then make it so it's synced, so it's the same value for every player in the room. And then we're going to make it so that when you click the button, it will add to the clicks. So you want to wire this pressed execution to this clicks execution. And then you want to get this, search chips, Circuits V2, click math, look for add, and then we're going to wire this green output, which is the integer, which is the amount on the variable, on clicks, to this add. And then you want to configure this, or just click it with the wire tool on the 0, and then change it to 1. And then get the sum of the two numbers and wire it to this green input pin on the clicks variable. And then what you want to do is you want to go into objects under Circuits V2, click button, and get ourselves a button set text. And then you want to wire this to this, and then you want to wire this output for clicks to this input on the button set text. And then for the target, we're going to wire it to this little yellow pin here, which will output the value for the button. And then for the text, which will be the amount of clicks, we're going to want to click backspace until we get to just the Circuits V2. Then we want to click strings. So then you want to get to string, and then we're going to put it down, and we're going to get our wire tool, wire this 1 on the integer to the 2 string value. So we'll turn this integer into a string value, which we can use for the button. So if I click this, it works, it clicks. So this was one example of a clicker game, and now I'm going to show you an example of another clicker game using the button text instead of just using a variable of string. So to do that, if you're starting from scratch, just spawn in a button. If you're starting from here, delete all of this, so you have just the button. Text does not matter. If you want to, you can change the text back to push me. So now what you want to do, you want to get this button, you want to get a parse int, you want to get a buttons get text, which will get the text of the button, wire the target to the button, so we'll output the text as a string value. So we're going to wire this string value to this parse int, and there is no numbers, there's a letter in it, so the parse int will not work. So what we want to do, in case if it doesn't work, go into commonly used, get ourselves an if chip, wire this false to the parse success, and then hook up the if to this pressed value. And then what you want to do, you want to go back, get an add chip under math, and then wire this result to here, and then change this to 1. And then what you want to do, you want to get a toString. So under strings, get toString, which will turn this into a string value, which will make it so you can put the text on a button. And then we're going to get a button set text under objects, then clicking button, button set text. Wire this to the else, because this will make it so that if the parse does not work and you cannot work it, it's not currently working because we didn't wire the target to the button. We're going to wire it. Now, if it did not say push me, it will now say 0. And then we're going to get this then, and we're going to bring it to another button set text. Bring this toString, put it here, and get this target for the button as the button yellow output. And then, for this then part on the if, wire that to this little execution here. So now, if you've wired it all correctly, it should work. That is how you make a clicker game without using variables. So I hope you enjoyed this Circuit CV2 tutorial of simple clicker games. Subscribe for more Circuit CV2 stuff coming out soon, and I'll see you all later. Farewell.